Magazine.
I am your host, Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Christopher G. Mohr, and myself will take a look at very spooky, scary, gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing The Wrath of Becky, available in theaters May. I wrote down 26th. I hope that's right. 2023. All right. Joining me this week, I believe it is. We'll find out soon. Joining me this week is my co-host Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. Having fun this week.
I like that. All right. Also joining this week
I feel like
is
I've sucked the hellos out of
the living deck.
No. Well, the Indy 500 is in 2 weeks, and I get to watch Indy 500 practice like all day long, every day.
Oh,
it's
well,
televised.
That's good.
That's cool.
That sounds terrible to me, but I'm glad. But I'm glad that you like it. Okay, but if
there's
you
a
like
lot of
it,
repetition, Christopher.
yeah, a lot of round and round,
Why do they always take a left turn? I don't know.
Do you take a drink every time they go around the corner?
Oh god, and that would be fast too. I'm great. I'm wonderful. I'm
absolutely
fabulous. Thank you.
All right. Also joining us this week is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Mohr. How you doing?
Doing good. Hey, I want to see Becky in a hair salon, so it could be called Becky with the good hair, but that's just me.
Becky with the good hair.
For those
what
people
is
that get that.
Did I miss that? What is it? Oh, okay.
Reference.
Oh, darn. I should know that, but I don't.
Say hello.
Hi, kitty. Is that a little, a new kitty or?
No, it's.
That looks like a baby.
She's got issues. She'll never.
Is that the one, the wobble wobble one?
Yep, the wobble one.
Mm-hmm.
She decided to make it all the way up three stories to see me. All right.
That's so sad.
Why?
Because you got to hold her and love her. Poor baby. She did all that work to get to you, and you're just going to set her down?
No, she's going to lay on my feet. All right. We are here to...
Boy, that's love.
That is. All right. We got some news for you that has nothing to do with cats. We are celebrating 10 years of H&R, Gruesome Magazine, and Decades of Horror. And we started in 2013 reviewing on our first episode Evil Dead, the 2013 remake. And then we started our celebration this year with the Evil Dead Rise. I like that. We're going to be celebrating all year long, and it will end in February of 2024 with our inaugural Grue-Crews. Yeah, we're going to be 3 nights of horror and fun in the sun. At the end of February, go to gruesomemagazine.com to check out the details. What we're going to do tonight, though, is review The Wrath of Becky. We're going to start off giving you our first impressions. Those first impressions will be spoiler-free. This film has spoilers. Then we'll wrap things up with, we'll have a discussion about the spoilers. I kind of almost skipped over that. Then we'll wrap things, ow! Cat bit me.
Because you wouldn't hold her.
Apparently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I got her. All right. Then we're going.
Should have done what I told you to do.
You did your best, James Brown. Ow! Bit me.
Ow! Then we'll wrap things up with a score of 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. And we hope you enjoy this review and many others, and hope you don't bite my feet. And if you do, please hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend button. And they're free and easy to do. I'm distracted by my own cat. And then we'll find more horror fiends just like you.
Sweet little kitty.
Yeah. All right, let's do the card so we can get into things. The boink. All right, Wrath of Becky from Quiver. Available exclusively in theaters beginning May 26, 2023. The synopsis is 2 years after she escaped a violent attack on her family, Becky attempts to rebuild her life in the care of an older woman, a kindred spirit named Elena. But when a group known as the Noblemen break into their home, attack them, and take her beloved dog, Diego, Becky must return to her old ways to protect herself and her loved ones. directed by Matt Angel and Suzanne Coty. I'm going to say it's Cody.
Yeah, that sounds good. Or Cootie. I mean,
Thank you for saying that. Written by Matt Angel and Suzanne
is
Cootie, and Nick Morris. The cast includes Lulu Wilson, Sean William Scott, Denise Burst, stop laughing, Jill Larson, Michael Cero, Aaron Dalla Villa, Matt Angel, and Courtney Gaines. Did you recognize Courtney Gaines?
yes, Malachi.
Yes, that was
Of course.
Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher,
I'm
you
just
almost got me
'cause
laughing
I
too.
figured you were trying not to pronounce it that way, and then Crystal did.
Is that a bad word or something?
Cootie?
Cooties?
Cooties.
I don't know.
Like cooties?
Yeah, cooties.
Not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
cooties.
I guess I'm.
It could be a cootie. All right, let's get into
Now my brain is gonna think about. Oh boy,
That's not.
think about Becky.
Let's not go
Wrath
where
of
you're-
Becky. Okay, yeah, I'm like, wait, what are they thinking?
All right, let's get into our reviews. What was your
Yes.
first impression of The Wrath of Becky, starting with Crystal Clear?
It's great. I loved Becky, the original,
Yes.
and I love The Wrath of Becky as well. So I did prefer the first one, but
Ooh.
this one is just wonderful and just as good. There's just something about the first one that just has a little. It seemed a little bit more Home Alone-ish,
Mhm.
and this one is a little bit more serious. But I didn't mind that. I'm just saying, like it that one seemed a little bit more fun and whimsical. I mean, when they hit the dog, I was like,
Oh, yes, that's a hard point. Yeah.
I'm not supposed to. Oh, okay.
That-
I'm not.
that's it.
Okay.
That's okay.
I'm
That's
taking
okay.
it. I'm
That's
taking
okay.
it back. I'm taking it
Yeah,
back.
that's
You got to
okay.
be prepared anyway, because that almost triggered
Yes.
I
me.
think
I
they
was like,
show it a
ah!
little bit in the trailer. So
But
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
important. It's important to know that the dog does not die.
Yes, that's
We will-
the
we
only
will
thing.
give
you
that
need to
away.
know. Yeah.
Just
Because
doesn't
I don't think I could handle it. But this one is super fun. Becky's brilliant. I love Lulu so much. I think she's phenomenal. I think she's precious. I think she's a really likable character. I actually liked all the new, well, loved or hated the new characters. Sean William Scott, right? Is that his name? Sean
Yes,
William Scott?
yes.
He is phenomenal. I don't know how they got these two funny dudes, Kevin and then Sean, to be equally as funny and equally as diabolical. Like
menacing, yeah.
he's amazing in this. I mean, I liked some of the twists and the turns. There is nothing wrong with this film. I said, like, I liked the first one first. Yeah, but this one is phenomenal. Okay, so I just want that clear. I'm just giving you, where I stand with it. I'm really interested to see where it goes. I mean, I think we kind of, I'm not going to give anything away, but they do leave things kind of open. And I would be shocked if we didn't see another Becky. I'd be probably a little sad if we didn't see another Becky.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, and I will say the one thing I really liked about this is she really just got behind. She's way more hardcore in this one, and I do like that side of her. She's just like over everything, and I get it because after the first movie, of course, she is. I like that they. The guys are so bad in this. I think these guys are worse than the first set of guys. Maybe that's what was like, a little bit of a gut wrench here. It's just harder. It's just the subject matter is harder. I love that they have these noblemen, which is like what, the Proud Boys or something. I think that's what they're supposed to be. They're racist and misogynist and just
Well, you saw the book
awful.
in the car, the one scene.
they're total incels, and
Yeah,
it's like, it's like, so you do enjoy the movie for more reasons than just the movie, but yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed it, and I'll be excited to see the third.
Yes.
Becky the third, and
Becky
we
the
can't
third.
say anything too much. We don't
Not
give
yet,
too
not
much
till
away.
spoilers. Jeff Mohr, what was your first impression of The Wrath of Becky?
I love this too, and it is different. The first one is a little straighter played.
Yeah.
This one to a certain extent, I think, makes fun of itself a little bit. And there are some callbacks to the first one, like that rhyme that reappears, and the same. I watched the first one again. I hadn't seen it since then. The same music and the lead off and the credits. We get the white supremacists. We get that something carries over from the first one. Anyway, and the way it ends is similar in a way. So I just enjoyed the shit out of it. But what I really liked, I mean, Lulu Wilson is just killing it. I thought she plays this like pitch perfect. The snark and the things that she says and the way that she acts, I just loved. I think at that point I will stop.
Oh, that was quick. Yeah, because then it's spoilers.
So I don't give anything away.
Yeah. It's easy to hop into spoilers. Christopher G. Mohr, what was your first impression of The Wrath of Beckey?
Well, I have to admit to something. I've never seen the first one.
Oh, you need to correct that. Oh, yes.
I've never seen the first one, although they kind of it's like a montage of scenes from the. But I kind of understand how the first one plays out, but it's one I never got around to, and I didn't really have time to sort of watch it before watching this, so I kind of went into this kind of new, even though I kind of understand. I mean, I will say I feel like she's like Charles Bronson for a whole new generation.
Yeah. Oh my
gosh, it's almost like Teenage Death Wish. Except the bad guys aren't as problematic as some of the Death Wish movies of old. And it's almost like Death Wish for Proud Boys, I guess.
Oh my God, Becky.
And I think I mean, I haven't seen the first one, like I said, but I do kind of like the sort of almost like it almost kind of takes those kind of things you see in like teen movies in general, you like the narration stuff, like Mean Girls or any of those other types of films, or even John Hughes stuff. It seems like John Hughes Death Wish. And
there's something.
yeah. And it has that kind of element to it. It is definitely a teen John Wick as well, I guess. But it definitely didn't shy away from the gore either, which is good.
Did not.
And I think they really lean into these bad guys, all those elements.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if you've noticed, even the T-shirts and stuff. Like my pronoun is patriot, and
yeah.
And the same guy had a different shirt on earlier, or something about like
God.
I couldn't read that
guns. One of them said guns, like
one of them said guns kill people, but then it had a whole bunch of stuff in the bottom about
I couldn't
pencil or something.
But it's probably something anyway. Talking about guns. But anyway, I think and just some of the stuff they were saying, I was like, wow, these people. I feel like these people have been watching stuff from January 6th or whatever to get elements for character work in this, and it kind of sells those characters, and it's very pressy. It feels very out of the pages type stuff. I almost feel like if they keep making these, just start casting some of the biggest comedian type people who aren't known for drama, and they may play some of the best villains. So if you get some crazy comedians to sort of play these parts, like, can you imagine like Jack Black or just somebody?
Christopher, when you see the first one, Kevin James blew my
I've heard he does
mind.
a really great job in the first one. I feel kind of sad that I didn't see that, because I feel like it's kind of the stuff I know. I kind of know how some of it plays out. But I thought this is a really sort of fun revenge-o-matic type film that really. I mean, there's a few places where I felt like the editing around some of the action didn't work, and maybe it's just the filmmaker eye and the editing eye of me. There's this part involved a machete that was kind of very shoddily edited, but for the most part, I really enjoyed it. Even though the logistics of some of the stuff kind of makes sense, everything kind of plays out. It felt like we just want this kind of cool thing to happen here and this cool thing to happen here. But it's one of those films where it doesn't bother me as much, because it's kind of entertaining when it comes to all the actors in it. and yeah, I think it has one of the most two really great sort of kills at the very end that I really enjoyed. There was like, oh, yes.
I don't know. I think I enjoyed all the kills.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they were all great. They're all great, but there's just one that was just like that, because they talk about jokes come in threes.
Yes, I know, of course.
And there's a moment that
the second one, I died.
And I was like, I was like, okay, this girl is not playing. She's wanting these people to suffer.
Suffer they do.
And then he's like,
I thought this is a very entertaining sequel, and it definitely makes me want to go watch the original. But I kind of, and also, I want to see where it goes from here, especially the way it ends and how it sets up how she can sort of, anyway.
Yeah,
sets up where it can go in the Becky verse, and
I'm all
for it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the Becky verse. Oh my god, it needs to cross over something. I Becky was one of my favorites of that year in my top 10, and this one has secured a spot for this year. It has a spot to lose. Let's put it that way. I was a little nervous at first because of the way they were playing it, and I wasn't sure it was going to gel. But man, by the time it gets to I think about the 20-minute mark, it just kicks in, and it's so much fun in a visceral sort of revengey kind of way. Like, these guys need their comeuppance they do get, and the way she goes about it, and the way, and also I will say that the characters were interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every one of so basically there's a half a dozen or so bad guys, and each one of them are very unique, and they have very interesting relationships to the other characters and conversation with the other characters, which really went a long way. And for that matter, so does Becky. Becky has a really great relationship with this certain character in the movie too, and of course her dog. That really, her relationship with the lady she eventually lives with, does cement the film and gives it the emotional gravity you need, right? It has that weight that you need to make this movie get into the second act and the conclusion of it, the third act. I just had a ball with it. The gore is fantastic. Small spoilers. I love that sometimes it takes more than one shot to kill somebody. It's absolutely brilliant. There's a couple scenes in there that I just thought were fantastic. And the last thing I'll say is that, and we'll probably talk about this more in the spoilers, but there's a scene with Sean William Scott where he just describes everything that is so brilliantly played. Great moment for him, and very intimidating and very frightening person the way he played him. But it's an interesting character because he's not physically intimidating, right? It's not like
he is.
Well,
yes, he is.
Not by size.
He is.
No, he's like a snake. He's ready to strike.
No, you're a man, and so you're saying he's not physically intimidating, but you're wrong because he is phically intimidating because she's a little girl.
He's a seal.
Well, he's very
Ranger.
Army Ranger.
But I'm not talking against Becky. I was talking about the other fellows. I mean, he intimidated them in a very, because other guys some of them were bigger than he was, but yet he was intimidating.
Only one of them was bigger than him. The one that yes, he is not that short, and he has some meat on him. And let me tell you, like, because of the way he carries himself, he makes himself seem physically.
Well, I agree with that, and I think that's where I was heading.
Dominant.
My point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's scary. He is scary in every way to me. Like,
right. The character he portrays ends up being that way. I guess I'm not making my point the right way, but anyway, I thought he did. I thought that Sean William Scott did a fantastic job and really made.
He looks strong, right? To me, he looks like he's in very good shape. That's why I say he's physically intimidating. He looks like a guy who.
But I think the thing is, you don't know when he's gonna. Like I said, he's almost like a snake. You don't know when he's gonna strike. Because when he has that situation where he sits on the couch talking to him, you think he's going to do something bad to that guy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. But then later on, when he just does a simple,
He does the
all he's
exact
got to
same
do is
thing
this to the
too.
freaking nose, because he's freaking like military guy, knows like probably martial arts or whatever. And he does that kind of strike where you just crush somebody's nose into their brain. And that's all he's got to do. He doesn't have to do anything.
Well, see, I think that was good writing too, and clever of them to do, because let's be real, that guy was in a bad situation that he shouldn't have been in, and I don't think it would have been fair for Becky to kill him because he really was kind of in a bad place.
But I mean, this when it comes to screenwriting, this could have been a bad situation where all these white guys. These incel white guys could all have been the same type, all of them spouting all these different things, but they did a great job in sort of like showing the different levels. You had the one that was the brash, hot-headed. You had the other guy who was always the jokey guy, you know, being an asshole, you know, making jokes about things. You had the other guy who was timid, didn't know what he's a part of, and then you had the leader, you know, or you even had like the mom character, you know, the other Daryl.
And the southern guy, right?
yeah.
That was awesome.
But again, that's a whole kind of nice little like twist as well, interesting element. Which it's one of those things that wasn't a throwaway thing. There's a reason why we saw her character at the very beginning. So I think the storytelling when it came to the characters and the pieces of dialogue that kind of inform their characters and what they're about, you know, even the banjo guy or whatever, who later on, you know, when he screaming like, oh
my God, what's your son's name?
What's your son's name?
Dead. And his face, that was, he's like, oh God.
But I think also what I love about the story is how they inject humor into these witch situations. Because like another one of my fun moments is involving the knife.
Knife.
And there's a joke involved with that was priceless.
Chekhov's knife.
Chekhov's knife, yeah. Chekhov. I mean, there's a lot of Chekhov's things in this as well, but the knife thing, how that kind of joke, just how that the joke of that element, you know, because there's the dialogue in that scene.
And sorry.
No.
Okay. Oh, I love too that she was able to find, because you know the whole thing has been about this key, that she found a little bit more information about the key from him. So I love that, because you know she wants to know what the hell this key is, and so now looks like coordinates to me. Okay, I'm like, because I want to know what the hell this key is.
Now we got to find out about the key.
Yeah, what the hell
the key was a big element of the first movie, Christopher.
Yeah, that's why she had it. She got the key from Kevin.
Gotcha.
So Kevin's character. So just so you know, so it's like, so we're just going to find out a little bit more. It was clever though. I was like, ooh, a little bit more info.
Yep.
What's going on here?
It pays off too. So back to Sean William Scott a little bit. I thought he did a tremendous job acting when he isn't being intimidating. Right? There's like the scene when when Jill Larson's character is interrogating Becky. And he's like, you could see in his face how much he admired Becky, right? It was just like, he just loved her. Like when she spit in the mom's face, it was like, he just really admired her.
Well, I don't think he's as much of a, he's clearly not as much of a misogynist as Courtney Gaines' character.
Right.
He's like femoid.
He's more militant. He's just militant.
Yeah, so, yeah.
That's not a femboid, that's a fembot.
Yeah, it's like, what's the difference? Yeah. It's like, I think they totally got on Reddit and they got all that information from there, because I've seen it all. I'm like, oh God, there are people actually like that. It is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
it did have a lot of surprises. Jeff, would you agree? There's a lot of twists and turns in this.
Yeah. I didn't expect to see the first Daryl again.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Daryl Senior.
Chekhov's Daryl, I guess. There was a point where I figured it out. You know, there was something they said that gave a hint. What did she say or something? And that's when I thought, oh well, maybe. But yeah, no, it was. I
thought
can't.
the
There's nothing
oxygen-
I can say except I loved it. I mean, I love the way it started when that guy comes up and calls her sweetheart. It gives her crap about putting the butter on the toast, and she like breaks the plate and throws it, into his neck, and he's giggling, and she's just sitting there grinning. And then you flash back and go, I have a good imagination. I don't always do all the things I think.
that plays out a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's. I liked it. I liked it because I was like going, oh crap, she really is. Anyway, and the way it started, that's what I mean by making a little bit of fun of itself. Is she gets delivered to this family, and she's like, well, oh, I'm so sweet, I'm so nice, and oh, I sure hope I can play with this girl at church, and and oh, shouldn't we say grace first? And oh, good night, Mom. and then she goes, you're probably wondering, what the fuck is this shit? What happened to Becky? And then she goes on from there, So
and then the animated scene was
the opening credit sequence is one of the most effective ones that tells story.
Sequence was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and tells you stuff. It's not just for shits and giggles. It's so cool things that it actually tells the story of where she went after that.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way of telling story. Just through a credit sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I love that too.
Eye-catching too. It was like we're watching it.
Yeah, it was great.
I like that style.
Yeah. I also like that Becky wasn't always successful, right? She wasn't, a superhero, which a lot of times our protagonists will end up being, right? They never get hurt. They never, and Becky would, she got captured a couple times. She didn't succeed. She gets punched, right? She into the wall, so she takes her punches too, I guess is what I'm saying.
But she is resilient.
Yes.
But she is very resilient.
Although I did get kind of irritated a few times because she did seem very smart. Some of the stuff she did.
Well, she
is.
I'm
just going to stand
16.
Here with. At the same time, if somebody's got a shotgun, I'm not just going to sit there. Oh.
So imagine Christopher her doing this when she's 12.
Oh yeah, it's so cute. It's so cute.
Awesome.
And I honestly, I was wondering whether it was going to work because, she's practically an adult now. And I was like, oh God, I hope it works because I love this kid. But I think it did. It's totally worked. They've transitioned her well, like I think they needed to mature her and make her, a little bit more hardcore.
Well, and by the end, we get to see her sort of
transform again,
transform again, and in a really cool way where it creates this sort of like the exploitation element of this gets even more.
Yes, yes.
Where she's gonna. This feels like a very 80s thing where they get sent on missions to take out these people because I'm sure that. The CIA I don't know. I guess it's maybe the CIA does this kind of stuff.
Let's go ahead and spoil the very ending. So if you haven't watched it, do not listen to this part because this is
we've had quite a bit of spoilers.
Well, there's a lot of spoilers, but it's all been kind of fragmented. But the end of it, after all the bad guys are said and done, there is a key element that she has for the bad guys that apparently she hands off to the CIA and one of our favorite actresses, Christopher, comes into the scene.
Katie Siegel, yeah. Mike
Flanagan's
Flanagan's latest shows up.
Yes, and she just has this great dialogue with Becky, and Becky is pure Becky here at this point, and it just sets up what should be a great third chapter of this series, and then of course the stinger after that even more so when she actually has the Men in Black costume on, if you will. She's all in the bazooka.
But with her fancy schmancy, flashy neon laces.
Yes, that was great. That shot was done so well, and even the guy in the truck did a great job with the old.
I mean, because little ways into it, they kind of said at the thing like, now I can go after all these different people because she had the little thumb drive. Yes. But to have the kind of resources of the CIA,
because I'm thinking that's the only way she's going to be able to do it. Because I bet you they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So
that list was really long, right?
Yeah, we need Agent Becky. We need that movie now.
She
Whatever
goes,
they
like,
call it.
undercover and different
Undercover Becky. Yeah, that sounds a little different though.
And she's so,
Oh, cheese and rice, Doc.
Cheese
and rice.
Agent Becky. We'll go with Agent Becky.
Okay. So the first time I remember seeing her is in Ouija: Origin of Evil.
No, there you go.
Oh, wow.
But then
She was in The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah. She's been in a lot of stuff. And I
Lulu Wilson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Haunted Hill House.
Yeah, she was the young. She played the young.
Shirley.
She played like
Oh man, I need to go back and rewatch that.
I was thinking about that
I completely
myself.
missed that.
Just to watch it again because I remember so many good things about it. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I think you're going to easily guess what we're going to give it, and our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. Crystal, you're up first.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a. Oh God, dear God,
Yes. What?
4.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Point 2.5.
2.5.
Nope. I was gonna go 5, but
Do it.
I feel like
Final answer.
4.25. I'm sticking with
Okay.
it. That's what I'm doing. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it could be. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's good. Just watch it. Like, it's good. Clearly, I mean, duh. I don't know. My favorite scene. God, I don't want to steal the one. I know what Christopher is going to choose, and that is the funniest thing. And now, we've already talked about the other one, but I got to do it. Because this not the one that Christopher is going to use. Because I died when the second one and the third one hit. Whatever. Anyway, when she asked, "What's your son's name?" I was like, the best is Courtney was like he knew, and I'm like, well, instead of lying, he decided not to lie, and that's why you're dead.
Yep.
Yeah. But when he said it, I don't know why I didn't even imagine that's what I thought he actually didn't have a child.
That's what I was
come up
thinking.
with the name. Yeah, but when he says the name, that was like, geez, God, well, okay. And then the whole interplay between them was actually really brilliant. And what was awesome about it is, if you notice, it's kind of a close. You never even really saw like a full wide shot of the two of them. It was so interesting because the energy was in their faces. But yeah.
So much blood though.
Yeah, and she looked so beautiful in red.
I like that.
It's so pretty. Mm-hmm.
Jeff, your score and favorite scene.
Well, first, while we were talking, I pulled up an interview, and it's Suzanne Coote.
Okay, Coote. Thank you.
That's the way she was introduced on the interview, at any rate.
Good. Okay, Coote.
There's just lots of. I just like this so much because of all the callbacks, I think, to the first one, and one of the things I don't really explain here so much as the rage that she has in the first one. When we reviewed the first one, I just remembered one of the bad comments was, she was such a terrible, rotten kid, the way she acted to everybody, but it carries through into that rage. And so some of that rage comes out here too, without so much of the explanation, although she does kind of give a litany of all the stuff that's happened to her. Favorite scene, I'm going to say, I got to say when Anthony gets it. And
which one is Anthony? I did not.
The first one, number.
Oh, yeah. He's such a
the door.
Head.
The guy at the door.
The door. And the thing that I loved is after it was the final shot of that kill that was down like ground level, looking at the door, and the body flops over with blood pouring out the back. I don't know why, but I was like going, yeah! I just thought that was a great shot. Anyway.
Yeah, I was expecting something far more elaborate, and I loved how contained it was at the same time. It was a great scene. Christopher G. Mohr, what is your score and favorite scene? The Wrath of Becky.
I will give it a 4.5 out of 5. I did enjoy it.
Yay.
I did have issues with some of the stuff. Just a few things where the action was kind of edited weirdly. But overall, I think it's a fun ride from beginning to end, and it has so much humor, which I love in horror movies or in action films in general. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Daryl's
Oh God, it's so
demise,
good.
which
Daryl Jr. or Daryl Senior?
Daryl shot. Yeah, well, Daryl. Would that be a junior?
That would be Junior.
Junior,
Yeah,
yep.
I-
They were.
Would that be a junior if your mom is
well, if
Daryl?
it's the same name, yeah.
I guess so.
Still.
I guess so.
They
Um,
listed that way. In
I kept thinking of Newhart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they list
This is my
her as
brother
senior
Daryl
in the
and my
movie.
other brother Daryl.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the how that plays out, and was so enjoyable, so enjoyable. Yeah. Just the yeah. That was just a great way.
Great last line for him too.
Mhm.
Yeah, and even also how it's a callback to sort of because I think she drew on the tree
A
the-
smiley face.
the same,
Mhm.
but I think the eyes were X'd. Wasn't the cardboard cutout the eyes were X'd out or something? It felt kind of similar, but anyway, I just how she takes out the final bad guy is just it's hilarious and brilliant at the same time.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 4.5 as well. I'm tempted to give it more, but I love this film. I can't. I actually want to watch this one again. I think I want to watch them back to back. I can't.
Yeah.
imagine it's quite an experience.
That's probably.
And I definitely want another one. I definitely want this. This one has a very satisfying and rewarding ending. The finale of it is just brilliant. I was not expecting that. I was expecting something to happen, with the guy that drives away when he.
Oh,
I knew she was going to end up getting him, but I did not expect it to resolve in the way it did. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I loved everything getting up to that as well. So I don't know why I'm not giving it more. I should be giving it more, but 4.5 is what I wrote down. So I'm going to go with it. But so what's my favorite scene? I actually have a couple that I can give. So I'm going to name them both. The first thing is when the arrow is shot at Courtney Gaines' character, I was pretty sure they were just going to kill him. He's going to fall in the water.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
But no, it's brilliant. It goes through his cheeks and his face, and that was why is that funny? But it was hilarious. And he comes walking in and thinking,
it was.
And he
And
doesn't
walking around with that arrow through his face.
didn't he do okay? So let's stop 1 second. Didn't he do a great job, Courtney
Yeah.
Gaines? I thought he was fantastic. I really thought he did a great job, and the banjo scene was hilarious too. But the one that I really got, because I thought it was going to be groan worthy at first, was when Daryl Senior stands up at the end.
Yeah.
But the way they played it,
Yeah, God,
Work.
the way
Joke
they
of that,
shot
yeah.
it.
so
Yep.
great because she's not really.
And they
aiming.
fooled you with the camera placement, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Because you see her stand up behind her and she turns around, but you don't, and she's pointing a gun, but you don't realize that she's not pointing the gun at Becky. It was just great. It was so great. And, the fact that she even stood up. Well,
I could totally see it happening. Crazier things have happened with people having stuff going through their brains. So I was like,
Yeah.
I buy it. I buy it.
I was fine. But I was a little groany at first when I saw the shadow behind her, but they turned it so quickly. And it was so satisfying. So I really want to go with that scene. But I had to mention the Courtney Gaines arrow through the face. Was so funny.
Well, all the acting was pretty good. Daryl Senior was good too. Jill Larson, and I guess she was in Deborah Logan. She was. Deborah Logan,
okay.
I
Oh, I
believe.
thought
Yeah.
I recognized
Oh,
her.
wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, she was fantastic. But she was intimidating too. But I thought the you were talking about Chekhov's gun and stuff, I thought the oxygen tank was going to come back into play.
I thought she was going to
Yeah.
blow the oxygen tank. I really thought of that.
Right,
So
and the
again,
cigarettes and stuff. Yeah.
Not everything could be Chekhov.
No, and I'm kind of glad they didn't. I'm kind of glad they did. I mean, they had
a couple
enough.
of red herrings.
They had enough,
Yeah.
right, to make it work. If that was the only thing, it wouldn't. It would be rough. But yeah. But anyway, so there you go. That's our review of The Wrath of Becky. It's playing in theaters. Check it out. I think this will be a great theater film.
Well, also, just quickly, maybe somebody said this, but the guy that played Sean, the guy that was not totally bought into the violence,
Mhm.
Yeah.
is the co-director.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And co-writer. And he did a great
co-writer.
job. The scene with him and Sean William Scott on the couch in the room with Becky hiding underneath was so well played because he was a mousy guy, but he didn't overdo it, right? It played in like a realistic mousy kind of guy that,
Yep.
because it could have been like a cartoon, but it wasn't. It really worked well. That scene worked well, and you needed it because you need to establish. Well, it established an important plot point, but it also established the Sean William Scott's character, Daryl Jr. And
Yeah, I didn't think of him. I mean, I know you said mousy, but I thought of him as
timid,
like the way a normal person would react to these.
Wow,
crazy...
that might be true. That might be true. But he just threw up from
right
talking about stuff. So he was definitely the weaker character, of course. But anyway, there you go. We can keep talking about this for another hour if you like, but let's go ahead and wrap this up. Jeff, Crystal, Christopher, thank you for joining me. This was indeed a lot of fun.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us. Mhm.
Always fun.
All right, let's get out of here. Say goodnight.
Good
Good night.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Gruesome Magazine.